Carb Crunchers, it's Freely the Banana Girl here. Today is day 15 on my 30 videos in 30 days, so I'm halfway through and I'm having a good time. I didn't realise I'd have such a good time as I'm having, and I'm enjoying all the support in the comments, so keep it going. And today's video is about how a 100% raw food diet can be very unhealthy. And I know some of you are probably thinking, what? The Banana Girl is going crazy. She's eating some cooked food now, and now she's writing off the raw food movement. No, that is not what I'm doing, and you're going to understand very soon what this is all about. So, the way that a raw food diet can be unhealthy is if it's a high-fat raw food diet. Okay, that is a very unhealthy diet. I remember when I first came to the raw food movement, I came through the high-fat raw food movement. And it was, it's a good way. At least I got here to where I am now. It's great to bring people in, but it doesn't keep people raw, okay? Before long, people are gone. You don't see them again if they try the high-fat raw style for too long. So when I found the raw food movement, I found Dave Wolf's forum called rawfood.com. And I went there. It's a pretty high-fat forum, as most people who are familiar with it know. And I was a newbie, so I went there with all these questions. I'm like, how much do I eat? What do I eat? Just as any newbie does. And I got this overwhelming response of, just eat 100% raw. It doesn't matter what you eat, as long as it's raw. That raw food's going to push out that toxic cooked food. And yeah, I believed it. I thought anything that was raw was good, so I got stuck into the, cacao and the oils and the nuts. And I was having I remember at one stage I had avocado, banana and cacao mixed together into a mousse. That was my favorite thing for ages. I'm like, oh yes, I get to eat chocolate still. I get to eat all these cakes, all these fatty lasagnas. I thought it was the best thing ever. But boy, was I wrong. I was way off track. And I started to feel really sick pretty soon. So I had to find another way. I mean, I came from a pretty unhealthy diet, pretty standard diet. I took out the meat, the dairy and eggs, and I got this jump in health, which was awesome, but pretty soon I became glucose deficient from eating this high-fat raw diet. Pretty soon after, I was binging out on everything else. So, the high-fat does not work, and the four main offenders that I've identified are cacao, oil, Himalayan salt or sea salt, any old salt, and nuts. So cacao is the first one, and it contains lots of stimulants, theobromine, which is a neurotoxin and stimulant, and something you do not want in your blood at all. I mean, I'm coming from this lifestyle where I had a lot of stimulating foods and, drugs as well, and coffee. And one night I remember having 2 cacao beans, and I was absolutely wired. I was awake in bed till 4 a.m. just staring at the ceiling. That's how stimulating this substance is. Really, really not good to have in your body. So get rid of that stuff, that processed, expensive, gunk. You don't want that in your blood. So next one is oil. So oil is 100% refined fat. Do you have an oil deficiency? A fat deficiency? No. 99.9999% of the population do not need more fat on their body. And oil is just going to contribute to your fat cells. It doesn't have anything that you need. There's no oil in nature, just forget it. It's just going to sludge up your blood. It's going to make the absorption of sugar into your cell very, very hard for your body. So you want to keep your bloodstream clean, and oil does not do that. It sludges it up. It prevents the oxygen from getting to the cell and from you feeling, your best and looking your best. So salt. All these raw food dishes, they have a whole lot of salt, because if you just put the fat, like the oil and nuts in, then it's not going to taste that good. So all this salt has to go in as well. And I don't care if it comes from the Himalayas. It doesn't matter. It's sodium, it's salt. It's going to retain fluid 100 times or more in your body. So you're going to expand. You're going to get all this fluid where you don't want it. And it's going to contribute to high blood pressure and various other issues which you do not need. You get all the sodium you need for your body in fruits and vegetables. Next one is nuts. So nuts, I know a lot of people are like, well, nuts are natural. You can just pick them up off the ground and eat them. They must be good for you. Well, there are sometimes food in my book. They're not that great for you. You're better off having fruits and vegetables. They're the low-fat, high-carb foods. Nuts are, 70% or more fat generally, which is just something that your body, your high-carb body, does not need. You might go for it when you're hungry, when you're binging out and stuff like that. It's only because you're hungry and you're going for a dense calorie source. So you take the nuts out, get rid of these like fatty desserts and crackers and stuff like that, and you're going to get this huge lift in energy because you're not going to be glucose deficient anymore. Eat enough of this and you're going to get enough glucose. So they're the 4 biggest problems I see. So this is how a raw food diet can be very unhealthy. So what is a healthy raw food diet? The Banana Girl diet. Or any fruit, high carb, raw, vegan. So high fruit lifestyle. If you're going to do a raw food diet 100%, do it with the fruit. 95% or more of your calories coming from fruit a day. So if you don't want to do a 100% raw food diet, then you can always eat cooked starches. They're going to keep you healthy. And you know what? That's a lot healthier than a high-fat 100% raw food diet. Remember, 100% raw doesn't mean 100% healthy. It certainly doesn't. These are going to help keep you high carb for life. I see far too many people coming to the raw food movement and only being there for a couple of weeks or a couple of months because they're doing the high fat way and they're glucose deficient. They can't stay on track because they don't have the nourishment coming to their cells. And then you know what happens? They leave, they talk about the raw food movement and they're like, raw food didn't work. But of course it didn't work because they didn't have enough nutrition going to their cells. So that's what I'm trying to prevent. I'm trying to help people just to feel their best and look their best and do it right the first time. Okay, so I hope this video helped. And if you found this info helpful, then spread it around. Press the like button. When you press the like, it helps other people see the message and then they come and go, wow, this raw food thing or high carb, this sounds interesting. And just helps the message get out. So I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to go root yourself or fruit yourself.
Go fruit yourself.